So the pattern for our Bolero or our Shrug looks like this. It's super simple and it's fully customizable to your size. The pattern is super easy to memorize because it is only a 4-row repeat, and you can make this Bolero in a day. Okay, so the first measurement you're going to need to take to make your Bolero is the distance from your wrist to your wrist. So you're going to want to stretch your arms out like a bird and measure the distance between your wrist and your other wrist. Or if you want it longer, you can measure longer. If you want it shorter, you can always go shorter. It's completely up to you, but for me, I did measure the distance from my wrist to my wrist. So depending on what length you want to make for your sleeves, just make sure you stretch your arms out like a bird and measure that distance. So now that you have your measurement, you're going to take your yarn and you're going to chain a length that matches that measurement. You're going to chain this length in multiples of 4 plus 1. So for this sample, I chained a total of 21, but again, you're going to want to make a chain length that measures the distance of your sleeves. So to begin row 1, you are going to chain up 2, and then you're going to double crochet into every single chain. So starting from that last one in your foundation row, go ahead and double crochet into every single chain until you reach the last one. Once you've finished row 1, it should look something like this. Now to begin row 2, you are going to chain up 2 and flip your work. Now you're going to put 2 double crochets together starting in the first chain. So to begin your first double crochet, you are going to yarn over, insert into that first chain, and then you're going to start a double crochet, but you will not pull through the last 2 chains. Then you're going to prepare a double crochet again, go into the next chain, pull it through, pull through 2 loops, and then when you have 3 loops on your hook like this, you're going to yarn over and pull through all of them. So that is your 2 double crochets together. Now from here, you're going to chain 5. Now we're going to put 3 double crochets together. So you're going to skip the next chain, and into the one after that, start a double, but do not complete it. Again, start a double in the next chain, but do not complete. And then one more time, start a double in the third one and do not complete it yet. And then when you have 4 loops on your hook like this, you're going to yarn over and pull through all 4. So that is 3 double crochets together. So the rest of the row will consist of 3 double crochets together until you get to the last part, and I will show you how to end it. So to continue the row, you're going to keep chaining 5, and you're going to put 3 double crochets again together. You're going to want to skip this next chain, and then starting in the next one, start your 3 double crochets together. Let's do it again. Chain 5, skip the next one, and into the one after, start your 3 double crochets together. When you reach the end of your row, you are going to place 2 double crochets together. So after chaining 5, again, you're going to skip this next one, and into the one after that, you're going to start a double, and then start a double in the last chain. And then when you have 3 loops on your hook like this, you're going to pull through all 3. So this is what the end of row 2 looks like. Again, we started with 2 double crochets together in the beginning, and then the rest of the row is 3 double crochets together until you get to the end and you only place 2 double crochets together. Now to begin row 3, you are going to chain up 6 and flip your work. Single crochet into this first chain space, and then chain 5 and single crochet in the next chain space. Now you're just going to continue making these loops. So you're going to chain 5 again and single crochet into the next. Throughout the row, you're going to keep chaining 5 and single crocheting into the chain spaces. After you've completed your last loop, you're going to chain 3, and then you're going to double crochet into the top of these 2 double crochets together from the previous row. So chain 3 and double crochet into the top of that from the previous row, and that will keep your pattern nice and straight. So that is the end of row 3. Now to begin row 4, you are going to chain up 2 and flip your work. In this first chain here, you're going to place a double crochet. Now you're going to chain 1, and you're going to go into this chain space right here and place 3 double crochets, but you're going to want to find the third chain in that chain space, or the very middle, and that's where you will be placing your 3 double crochets. Again, chain 1, find the middle of the chain space, which is going to be the third chain, and in that third chain you're going to place 3 double crochets. Now this is how the rest of the row is going to go. You're just going to keep chaining 1, and then you're going to find the third chain in the chain space and place 3 double crochets. Now when you have one last little loop left, you're going to chain 1, and in the third chain from the single crochet here, you're going to count 1, 2, and 3 right here. It's also going to be the third chain from the bottom if you prefer to count that way. So in that third chain, you are just going to place 2 double crochets. And that completes row 4. Now from here, the pattern continues to repeat. You're going to repeat rows 1 through 4 over and over again. So let me show you how to repeat row 1. Again, you're going to chain up 2, you're going to flip, and inside every single chain, you are going to double crochet. So when you reach the chain space, you're just going to put 1 double crochet into that chain space. And then for all the other chains that you see, you're just going to place 1 double crochet in them. So then you're just going to complete this all the way across your row. Again, we're just repeating row 1 here. This is a very simple pattern to memorize because it is only 4 rows of repeats, and we're not doing anything too complex or fancy, so it's very simple. So go ahead and just complete your repeat row 1, which is your row of double crochets, all the way across your row. Remember, when you're at the chain spaces, you're going to place 1 double crochet into those chain spaces as well. And then when you get to the end, you're going to see your last double crochet right here. You're going to place a double crochet into that, and then you are going to place 1 more in the 3rd chain from the bottom of the edge, just to keep your project nice and straight. So that was repeat row 1, and then from here you're just going to continue to repeat rows 2, 3, and 4, and then you're going to repeat 1, 2, 3, and 4 over and over again. So to determine the height that you need, you're going to need your 2nd measurement, which is the largest part of your arm. So you're going to want to measure around that, and you're going to want to make a height that matches that measurement. So for example, the largest part of my upper arm was about 11.5 inches. So for my pattern here, I made sure to create a height that was 11.5 inches. Now keep in mind that there is going to be some stretch to your fabric, so depending on how loose or how tight you want it, just make the appropriate amount of rows to repeat. And then once you finish this, I will come back and show you how to close up the arms. So you want to make sure that no matter what height you decide to make, you always end on a row 1, because that's important for when we put the 2 sides together. Okay, so now it's time to put our sleeves together. So you're going to want to fold this in half and line up the bottom row with the top row. Then you're going to grab your yarn and just prepare a slip knot at the end, and we're going to begin single crocheting along the edge of her sleeve. So this is going to be on the inside part, on the inside of her arm. So you're going to want to go beneath the 1st chain of your sleeve right here, and then you're going to grab the 1st chain of the one in the back, and then grab your yarn, and you're just going to pull it through both the back chain and the front chain. And then you're going to chain up 1 to secure it. So from here on out, you're just going to be entering into the next chain in the front, and then make sure you grab the chain in the back as well, and you're just going to single crochet all the way across. And to determine how many times or how long you're going to single crochet for, you're going to want to measure the distance from the bottom of your sleeve to the bottom of your armpit, or wherever it feels comfortable for you to stop joining your arm sleeves together. So if you want a more relaxed fit, then stop a little before the bottom of your armpit, but if you want it tighter, then you're going to want to go all the way to the bottom of your armpit. Or you can also just keep trying on the sleeve to see when you need to stop. So it's completely up to you. Just make sure that you're single crocheting both sides together. So now you can see I have finished closing up both sleeves, and I have this opening right here. That's going to be where my back is, and then I also did the sleeves on the other side, making sure I did the same measurement to close up. So just looks like this. Here's the opening, and then now it's time to make the decorative strap. So to determine where you want your strap to come out of, you can just put your Bolero on, and that's what I did, and I lined it up with my collarbone, and then I marked where my collarbone was. So I already did one side here, and I'm going to show you how to make the other side. So the first thing I did was mark it, and I'm going to go ahead and just prepare my yarn with a slip knot. And then I'm gonna go into this space where I marked. I'm just gonna flip it over so it's easier. So here's the space that I marked. I didn't mark a chain, instead I marked a space between 2 double crochets just so the place where I put my strap can be much more secure. If you want to go in the chain, that's fine, but I did the space between the double crochets. So I'm going to go in through here, and I'm just going to grab my yarn and begin making a chain. So this chain length is completely up to you, depending on how long or how short you want it to be. I did a total of 100 chains, and that is, if I measure it, that is about 19 inches. So again, up to you, depending on how long or how short you want your chain. So I'm just going to continue with my chains, and then I will show you how to make this little decoration at the end of it. Okay, so after you've reached your chain measurement, you're going to want to hold that last chain in place, and you're going to chain up 3. So after that, you're going to place 3 double crochets together in the place that you marked with your finger. So let's do 3 double crochets together. So that's 1, 2, and 1 more, 3. So now that you have your 4 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 4. So now you're going to chain 3 again, and you're going to slip stitch into that chain that you placed your 3 double crochets in. So slip stitch into that, and after slip stitching into that, you're just going to slip stitch into 1 more chain on your strap just to make sure everything is nice and secure. And then you can go ahead and chain up 1 and cut off your yarn. And you're going to want to make sure to weave in that little end. Now after you've weaved in all your ends, your Bolero is now done. So I hope you enjoyed this pattern, and if you did, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.